The topic that everybody is discussing, everybody is bringing about the problem of communal difference, communal tension. Don't do this, it might lead to communal tensions. Certain things are being done so that there are no communal tensions. Communal tension, communal differences is a huge topic of discussion in our country. But let me put a little bit light on why there will be communal differences. India has been a country where historically we are a melting pot of different communities, different religions, different thought processes, different philosophies, different ideologies. Everything comes into India and it melts into a common culture. It adds and contributes to enriching our own culture. So for thousands of years, India has been a place which has been sought after by everybody across the world. People would want to come to India for its learning, for its diversity, for its philosophical richness, for its spiritual depth, for its intellectual extent. But over a period of time, different communities have started becoming intolerant to each other. Why should there be differences, or why should there be intolerance among communities? Now, why will two people have differences? Why will two people start fighting with each other? One reason is, I believe something, you believe something, I don't want to accept what you believe to be valid, and you don't want to accept what I believe to be valid. When two people are fighting about the differences they have, and both of them want to establish that their idea of what they believe is the only idea that can exist, there will be problem. But has it been so in our country historically? Forever, two values have always been the cornerstone of Indian civilizational structure, Indian cultural ethos. The value of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and the value of Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti. Anybody who was connected to the Indian culture has always subscribed to these two values. You go to the rural background, you go to the rural areas, you go to people in different tribal communities, you will not find people who are connected to the culture of India telling that what I believe is the only truth. You will not find people connected to the civilization of India believing and fighting for what they believe to be accepted by everybody as the only truth. That is a recent phenomena. That is a phenomena that we have been seeing in our country over the last few centuries, where some people are so strongly assertive about their beliefs and they become demeaning about others' beliefs. That leads to conflict. If I believe whatever I want to believe and I am respectful of another's belief, why will the other person have a problem with what I believe? As long as I am very clear about what I believe is my belief and what you believe is your belief, I respect your belief. You please respect my belief. When the other person says, I don't want to respect your belief, what I believe is the only truth, you have to accept it. Otherwise I'll beat you up. Otherwise I'll start having conversations about your belief. I'll mock your belief. I'll create all sorts of intellectual arguments, logical arguments to say your belief is nonsense. What will I do? I will fight. So communal differences happen because one of the primary causes why communal differences happen is that the communities don't want to accept the other person's reality to be the reality. For him, that is his reality. For me, this is my reality. Now, how do we solve this problem? For a country like India, which has thousands of years of civilizational history, the most diverse and the most rich cultural heritage, adopting the two values that we find rooted in the heart and minds of every Indian for hundreds of years, for thousands of years. Those two values of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti will solve every single problem. Forget about which religion you belong to, forget about which caste you belong to, forget about which creed you belong to, which region you belong to. Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti says, the truth is one. People who understand the truth talk about it in different ways based on how they have understood it. Now, if I gain the experience of the truth in my own ways, in the ways that my mind allows me to experience, I will explain it in some way that I feel is appropriate for my communication. Somebody else will do it for their own understanding based on their own experience. How can my experience can be the only valid experience and the other person's experience of the same truth be invalid or be wrong? if we start accepting wholeheartedly that Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti, your God is true, my God is my God, and that is also true. I call my God by some name, you call your God by some name. The name need not be the reason for us to fight. If both of us agree that each other's gods are truth for them, there will be no problem. Ekam Sat Vipraha Bhuda Vadanti. Unless this is brought into the religious discourse of people across the world, there will not be peace in the world, and there will always be fights in the name of religion. Communal differences happens because primarily of religious identities. When people want to assert their religious identity and they don't want to accept anybody else's identity as true, then there is fight. You don't see those kind of... See, there are communities. If there's a school, if there's an institution, or there's a university, different branches of the university, different branches of study, let's say engineering, different branches of engineering is one community in itself. Do you see communal clash happening in an engineering college? The community of mechanical engineering students going and fighting with the community of civil engineering students. Never happens that way. Mechanical engineering students might feel that their branch is good, civil engineering students might feel that their branch is good, but both of them appreciate the good and bad of each other's branch. Communal differences, communal tensions happens because communities are fighting about something that they don't have any experience of, that they don't have any exposure to, that's only based on belief. So the first thing that everybody should accept and imbibe and inculcate and internalize in their minds is that Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti, truth is one, and people will talk about it in different ways. And the second one is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Everybody is my family. Everybody is my family. The idea of inclusion comes from the idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Inclusion is much higher than secularism. Secularism is the separation of religion and state. Secularism, the bedrock of secularism is tolerance. Tolerance means I know that you are wrong, but I will not do anything about it because I tolerate you. Tolerance will lead to problems. Tolerance will eventually lead to a blasting of conflict. Inclusion is what will lead to coexistence. Coexistence and happy coexistence can only happen by inclusion and not by a secular tolerance. India is a country, the only country in the world which has the concept and the idea of inclusion. Everybody is mine. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It's the whole the world is one my family. Not just human beings. All living beings are my family. So bring these two values into the lives, into the minds and hearts of every Indian. There will be no conflict. There will be no communal tension. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is my family. And Ekam Sat Vipraha Bahuda Vadanti. Tell yourselves that I will never question the validity or the appropriateness of somebody else's truth. I will never question the beliefs of somebody else, telling that my belief is the only belief and your belief is wrong. Tell that to yourself, and you keep doing this. If you practice this, we will have a better place. So all of us should work within ourselves, work on ourselves to correct our own minds, to make sure that we become better at inclusivity. We include everybody, and then the world will be a better place. Thank you very much. Namaste. This is Dr. Varun Murthy.